YOLO!
Ladies and gentlemen, it is Saturday. Week of podcast is finally over. Thank God I'm done editing everything. So we're going to get on with a regular episode of just us talking about stuff that happened this week other than the week of podcast. By the way, if you haven't checked it out yet, there's going to be a link in the description. Just check out the rest of the week. It's fun. So today on the just regular episode, we have...
Mike.
And Steven.
Yep, the return of the cruiser once again. And of course you have me, Aaron, the guy who does everything around here.
Did you get Christmas shopping done yet?
Yeah, no, I have to get my brother something still, but my mom and dad are all taken care of.
Oh,
so.
cool.
How about you?
What'd you get him?
I got my mom a $50 gift card to a greenhouse thing, as well as another one to Barnes & Noble.
Okay.
And then I got my mom and dad, or my mom and I and my brother are all kind of getting together on a gift for my dad. It's like a 12-lap, 8-lap ride around in the NASCAR, like Newton Speedway or something.
Oh, that's pretty cool, man.
Yeah.
How much does that cost?
I don't remember the exact price, but I know
Under like 500? Or?
I think it was like between 3 and 4 or something like that.
That's pretty sweet, man.
It's pretty cool, yeah.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I bet you like that.
Oh, yeah.
I got most of my shopping done. I got my uncle. He's a big Wisconsin Badgers fan, so I got him some bowl my dad hooked us up on. My brother's won that new 2K13 game. He's a big sports game guy. That's like the only games he plays though, which there's guys like that. Like they just want sports games. I mean, he's a big sports junkie, so I'm getting him that. I got my mom some. I work next to at the computer shop I work for. I work next to a nice lady named Sweet Loretta's. She makes like homemade toffee and candy. So I got my mom some dark chocolate toffees and some biscottis for coffee in the morning.
Nice.
It's cheap, but it's kind of like, hey, it's a small, local business type thing, homemade. My dad, I got him some political stuff. I'm not going to go into that.
Yeah.
Because he's got a pretty strong political view. So
I imagine. I know your brother, so I imagine it's pretty similar.
I gotta figure it out, so.
Yeah. I haven't really done any shopping yet.
Of course.
Same way. I got it all on my list, but I got to go get it. You know what I mean?
Pretty much for the parents. I think my brother and I were going to get them some gift cards for different restaurants. Yeah. Like Village Inn and stuff they like to go to.
Okay.
No idea what to get for my sister. Probably, I don't know, a game or something. Don't
she play video games?
Yeah,
nice.
she does. I know that her and her boyfriend, I still don't know if they're engaged. They have
her baby daddy.
her baby daddy. I know they play a lot of the Black Ops Zombie.
Okay.
So I know they play some games. I just don't know what really to get them.
Yeah. I just give them a gift card somewhere, then they can get what they want.
Probably.
Yeah. So everyone looks like they're getting their Christmas stuff rounded up.
Yeah, pretty good stuff. So. Only about a few days away now, right? Like 3 or 4. Actually, it's not that much. Like 5.
That's next Tuesday, I believe, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, next Tuesday.
So I was a little off.
Yeah, it's funny. This comes out what, Saturday?
Actually, this comes out Saturday, so it's like 3 days away. I wasn't wrong at all. Tricked ya, all of ya.
Just, thought I'd throw that out there.
Right.
He traveled back in time.
But yeah, we're getting all the stuff. We know what's up about this age.
Yeah, my family's one of those people. It's Christmas. Just come have lunch or whatever, and we're good. And, we don't need to do the whole Secret Santa or any traditions.
Yeah,
it's like our tradition's just drinking beer and eating like Christmas turkey or something. You know what I mean? Just eating food and hanging out.
Yeah. Spend time with the family.
I only see them about a few times a year, so.
Yeah. Although I know that when I'm back in town, I'm going to be hanging out with a couple friends from high school I haven't seen for years.
So that's always
I'll
weird,
do
man.
That too, yeah.
That's always pretty weird. It can be weird, it can be cool,
It's going to be weird because they got into a lot of drugs and drinking and everything.
They always do, man. They always do.
And I didn't do any of that, but they got into all this stuff. And So it's going to be weird. I mean, I don't really know how it's going to happen.
Yeah, how long has it been? Like 4 years?
Something like that.
Yeah, that'll be weird.
It'll probably be pretty fun. Because I know one of those guys who was my best friend for multiple years. So, I mean, it's still. I mean,
1 year can change somebody, but times that by 4. I mean, all my friends that I hung out with high school, honestly, either A, popped out babies, or B, got married. And I really...
One of our buddies is doing that right now.
He's doing both.
I mean, with that best friend, I know that, we'll be able to hang out just because it's, there's some guys like that where you're just like...
Oh, yeah.
You know the guy.
It's like you just started, it's like you just hung out with each other yesterday, like, oh, hey, what's up? That's like my buddy I just visited out in California. It's like, like he's pretty cool. We've gone through some shit, but it's still like, I could hit him up and be like, hey man, what you been up to? Oh, I just been doing this and that. It's not like, why are you calling me? Or like, I'm busy, or what I mean? Like, it's just like, whatever, it's Steven, you know what I mean? You gotta have at least one friend like that in your life.
Yeah.
It's pretty important.
Alright, well, let's go ahead and move on with the releases of the week here. So, coming out game-wise, I thought I had something open for that. Just a second here. Well, I hit both links. I thought both of them opened up.
Alright, game releases.
So, game releases. There's shit coming out this week, as in not much at all. PC, we have Shadows of the Vatican, Act 2 Wrath. Not sure what that is, but it looks like an action-adventure game. Should be interesting.
I like the name, Shadows on the Vatican. It makes me
Act
think
two.
like maybe you're doing something against the Vatican. I'm like, that'd be interesting, just because...
We're about to bomb the Vatican.
I mean, the Hellsing anime and everything with Hellsing Abridged, and I'm like, that just makes me want to play like a Hellsing game. And
just write letters to the Pope.
Death threats.
And then everything else coming out this week, from the looks of it, is just stuff you can buy on the DS or 3DS's online stuff, DSware, eShop, etc. So really nothing much coming out for games this week, but I mean it is getting close to Christmas, so if you haven't gotten anything yet, chances are you don't have to worry about it.
I would recommend buying anything right.
It all came out last week or the week before, so just wait. I'm sure right after the holidays everything will be new again.
What about that Moto Shinkan Jump Kentai?
I want that game so bad. Moto Shinkan Jump Tenkai!
I have no idea what that's about. It's a platformer.
I can imagine.
It has like 5 exclamation points in it too.
The word jump.
Yeah.
Jump. I mean, come on. But movie releases, we have a few coming out for the holidays. I mean, they always have something. There's one called This Is 40. It has Paul Rudd, Leslie Mann, and a couple other guys. And I'm not sure what it's about, but it looks like it's one of those chick flicks.
Oh, I think I read a review on that. Got like 2 stars out of 5.
It's got a 59 on Metacritic. So.
It looks like it's a look at the lives of the people a few years after Knocked Up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It is that movie. It's like the follow-up. Yeah.
We have Zero Dark 30. For those who aren't aware what this is pretty much the Kill Osama Bin Laden movie. It's a movie about how the whole operation to find and kill Osama Bin Laden went down. Should be pretty good. I don't know why...
In a dramatized movie way.
Yeah.
Not too sure why that'd be out on Christmas, but hey, whatever. It's good. Okay. Let's see. Jack Reacher is coming out this Friday as well, or came out yesterday.
See, I think this movie is interesting because it's got Tom Cruise in it, and you want to see how he is after like this whole divorce thing going on.
I do want to.
See, I've heard mixed reviews. I've heard it's really good because Jack Reacher is like it's like an old book or some type
I think it is.
But it's like a really it was pretty popular. So like you wondered if it's doing it justice or not. That's the biggest thing about the movie.
I've never been a big Tom Cruise fan, so I'll wait and see what everyone else says.
Everyone says I look like that guy. I don't know why, but
like I don't know. It's like he's not bad. He's not my favorite, but I do want to see the movie because from the trailers it does look pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, he seems pretty cool. Like, I mean, he did Top Gun and Cocktail, so I mean, those are pretty good movies. But you see too much of his personal life too because the magazine kind of thing.
Vanilla Sky.
Yeah,
that was
that's a good movie too. Yep.
Also, this week we have Guilt Trip starring Seth Rogen, I believe. And for those who don't know, that's the movie where he's like a traveling salesman, I think is what it is.
It's got Barbara Streisand in it, too.
Yeah, I think she plays the mother. So.
Yeah, I'm not digging that one too much.
Oh, right.
Either way, it could be kind of funny, but I'm going to wait to see what reviews say.
Yeah. I think the best thing
I think it's going to go straight to DVD in like 2 months.
Probably be sad.
For those who want to relive their childhood, Monsters, Inc. gets re-released in 3D. I might see it just because I loved Monsters, Inc. as a kid growing up.
It's a good movie. Yeah, it's a good movie. So, if you want to see it in 3D, go for it.
Yeah. Cirque du Soleil finally gets a movie. So if you really enjoyed seeing through that really awkward, what was it, a Broadway thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you enjoyed sitting through the awkward Broadway show, you'll enjoy sitting through the awkward movie.
Speaking of Broadway, have you guys heard about that new Broadway that the creators of South Park made?
Oh, Book of Mormon or something like that? Yeah. I've heard of it. I know nothing about it.
I heard it's really good. They had a showing in California, but I didn't get to catch it. And I really wanted to catch it because I heard it's really good. Like, it's probably like that episode of South Park if you guys have seen that. But I heard
if they bring one in Des Moines, I'll check it out. I'm definitely checking it out.
Yeah, I heard it's phenomenal. Like, I heard it's like really good. So.
Let's see. We have The Impossible. Let's see. An account of a family caught with tens of thousands of strangers in the mayhem of one of the worst natural catastrophes of our time. Not sure which that is, but
it's piqued my interest. Maybe check it out.
Maybe.
And
check.
And the rest of the ones we're listing here are limited release, so they may not be in our area, but they might be in yours. We have On the Road, 2012. It's a young writer, Sal Paradise, has his life shaken by the arrival of the free-spirited Dean Moriarty and his girl, Mary Lou. Not Fade Away, set in suburban New Jersey, 1960s. A group of friends form a rock band and try to make it big. That could be interesting.
That could be interesting, yeah.
Amour. I don't like it because its title's in French. And then
it was rated pretty good though.
Oh, it is 93 on Metacritic, so that might actually mean something.
Yeah.
Damn French.
It looks,
always doing good
looks
movies.
Like it's about really old people.
It does look like it's about old people.
Yeah.
And then of course, if you still want to check out Hobbit, that's still in theaters. Yeah, why not?
Still a good movie.
Still pretty. I haven't seen it, so.
Still pretty. I haven't seen it.
Well, by the time it comes out, I've seen it, but I can't say anything now.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, that's the movies and games released of this week. So if you get a chance to, I'd say check them out.
Improvising.
Yeah.
Improvising.
But yeah, let's go ahead and move on to news. Let's start with some sales, though, because there's always some good sales going on with the end of the world coming up here soon and Christmas right around the corner.
Yeah.
Good Old Games. We mentioned this last week on the podcast. I'll mention it again this week. They have a sale going on right now. Pretty much almost all their stuff is on sale. We have 75% off Might and Magic Madness, all the different Might and Magic games. Witcher 2, 75% off. 80% off Telltale games in general. Quite a few of them, actually. Not sure who Daedalic is, but 74% off all the games from that series.
Yeah, I have no idea who that is.
FTL, Fast and Light's like a newer indie game, I believe. That's 50% off. A lot of other ones. Ultima, 75%. A bunch of indie games are on sale as well.
It's pretty much everything on good old. Well, I think there's like a total of 474 games.
And I believe,
on sale.
Yeah, look at all these games, and they're all indie. I mean, look at this.
Most of them for 75% off.
Yeah, 75, 50% off.
Bullfrog favorite, 75% off.
Unfortunately, it doesn't have the expansion for Dungeon Keeper 1. Otherwise, I would get that.
You're all about the Dungeon Keeper, man. That's funny.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's like the expansion I haven't played. I played the original like 5 times.
Yeah, but that's pretty much the sales going on Good Old Games, and I'm pretty sure by the time this comes out, Steam will have started their sale if they, don't, by the time it's, over. Also...
You need some paper towels.
I got it, dude.
Alright.
Also, one more sale. If anyone here has an iPhone, I know you don't, I know I don't, but anyone else who's listening might have an iPhone or an iPad. On iOS, you can get Walking Dead, the first episode for free, and I believe all the other episodes are discounted to like maybe 99 cents or something like that.
99 cents an episode.
Yep. So, I mean, it's definitely a good game. Everyone's saying it's Game of the Year. I rated it number 3. I mean, you should definitely check it out, especially at that price. That's really damn good.
Yeah, that is pretty good.
And I know that GameFly should still have it on sale for $12, so if you want to check it out, please do. It's really good. So let's go on to some actual news here. Let's do some Steam stuff first. Steam is just announced that, actually, Capcom announced it. Resident Evil 6, that shitty sequel of a game that everyone's been ragging on, is coming out to Steam.
Have you guys played that game?
I haven't, but the gameplay, it looks more like an action game, and it might be fun for that, but it doesn't look like it would be all fun for the Resident Evil.
I've talked to a guy who's diehard Resident Evil fan. He's like, there's parts of it that are like, this is like Resident Evil at its finest. But he's like, there's also parts that's like, man, why
they missed the mark there.
Yeah, why is this in here? It's just like too much going on,
The only Resident Evil game I've actually played was 2.
Oh yeah,
way back
like the
on
hard
the
ones. Yeah,
and,
like they're walking like they got a corn cob up their butt, and you gotta like aim the gun and stuff.
You aim the gun. You're like, this is so shit. And then you're just like walking through, and you open a door, and then it's like, because that's a loading screen.
Well, I think I like how they went though with like 4. Like I think 4 was a really good step.
A lot of people say 4 is one of the better ones.
And then 5 is kind of like it's got co-op now, and then they kind of like geared. You got the co-op aspect because co-op's big or whatever, and then. Yeah, this is just like, we're putting everything in this game. It's like the Avengers, but Resident Evil.
Well, I think the problem with this one is the same problem that Dead Space 3 might have. It's just going for broader appeal, trying to get more people to like it. And it's like, it's a game with a niche appeal. Keep that niche so you don't alienate those fans. Don't try to broaden it for everybody and then end up alienating the people who loved it.
Even like with Fear, because Fear 1 was amazing. Fear 2, still good. Fear 3 sucks.
Yeah. That's how it usually goes, but...
I played it. It didn't suck terribly, but it didn't live up to anything
To
the
quote,
other two.
To quote Yahtzee from Zero Punctuation, because I think is the best analogy of it, it's like sticking your dick in a pudding, you know? I mean, sure, it'll still be good pudding, but no one's going to eat because you stuck your dick in it. Come on.
That's pretty good, yeah.
Yeah. Let's see, some other news we got here. You guys ever play Plants vs. Zombies at all?
Oh, yeah.
I played a little bit of it, yeah.
Well, the popular game there, the developers of that team are going to be joining the Valve team.
Oh, cool.
So who knows what kind of games they might make for that, but I mean, they made a good game there. Valve always makes good games.
Yeah, that was good. Plants vs. Zombies is a pretty good game, I'm not going to lie.
I wouldn't be surprised if whatever they work on gets released for their Steam box, which should be coming out sometime next year, maybe even 2014.
I did hear the rumors about that. Basically, it's going to be a blend between a PC and a home console.
Yeah.
I don't know how they're going to do that, but it'd be very interesting how they do it.
I'll tell you this much, if it is true, I mean, it is true, but if it comes out really soon, it'll be the second console I get for this generation. It'll be the first generation where I got 2 consoles on release.
Yeah.
Which is pretty damn impressive.
Well, the only thing I worry about, too, is, like, look what Xbox, or Microsoft did with Xbox. I wouldn't want them to kind of start going down that path.
I think
just to make more money.
I think Valve's smart to avoid the mistakes Xbox and Sony and even Nintendo have made. They'll do their own thing.
You hope. Yeah.
Well, one good thing about Valve is that you know that they're not going to abandon the PC because that's what they started out, and they've always been, supporters of PC.
That's their moneymaker, man. It is.
Yeah, and as long as, they don't make any, like, specific Steam box things, I'm going to be perfectly fine with it. Yeah. And I'd love to hear other developers joining the team. Just because Valve, they're great. And
they're pioneers, man. They really are.
They live up to their reputation.
Yeah, they do.
Looks like here, apparently those developers I was just talking about, apparently they were actually bought out by Valve, and so that way now they're part of Valve through that method. So, and that's part of their San Francisco office. So
yeah, the 2 guys, Jeff Gates and Todd Semple,
made Spore.
They made Spore.
They worked on them. They didn't make them entirely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, they got some pretty good talent on their team now. I'm looking forward to seeing where this goes.
And they also had the guy, Ice Frog, who made Dota.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, they didn't really hire him on, but hey, help us make the game that you made, and then we'll fund it and have our, what I mean, like, you give us ideas, and then we'll take our team and make it,
Yeah.
That's not what I want. I want all 3 of them.
Sounds pretty good.
Son of a bitch. Okay, so who here knows what War Z is?
No idea.
Well, okay, who remembers what DayZ is? Yeah. We did talk about that last podcast.
Okay.
So War Z is pretty much what everyone's been calling a knockoff version of DayZ, where it's pretty much the same concept of big server, lots of people, they fight zombies, and there's a huge thing in their description about all the different stuff you could do. According to the various articles I have open here, because there's quite a bit that happened in just a couple days of what has happened here. A lot of the stuff they put on there, like how big the maps were, how many people you can have in your servers, all this different stuff, wasn't quite accurate. For example, they had multiple maps with be able to support 100 players with multiple kilometers, like maybe hundreds of them, kilometers of map size.
Yep.
72 kilometers, 1 map only, 50 player server maximum, among a bunch of other things that were misled in the entire description of the game. I'm not going to list them all here. Let's just say it was just really bad in terms of marketing the game entirely.
Yeah.
And apparently a lot of people were raising an issue with this one, talking on the various Steam forum for this game specifically, saying, hey, this is terrible. You need to do something about this. The guy in charge of the Steam forum for this game, rather than actually taking their complaints, listening to them, would just ban all the people who said bad things about the game.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So, yeah, not a lot of the complaints are getting heard. Well, Valve stepped in, I believe it was today or late yesterday, and said, you know what, this is getting out of hand. They've removed the game from the Steam store and said, we're going to, work to get this thing hammered out and figured out. And so, yeah, that's where it's at now. The game's no longer available. Anyone who wants to get their game refunded, I believe they can. They've put up a support ticket through Steam.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, it's a huge mess there. Everyone's calling it a scam, which, in all fairness, it pretty much is. I mean, you bought a product advertised with all this stuff, and you only got maybe half of it at best. Yeah. So
that's pretty cool they're doing that.
Yeah, I'm glad Valve is stepping in to at least do something about it.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, it's a pretty sticky situation.
Yeah, I gotta say, Valve has always been great with customers.
Yeah, I've never had a problem with them in terms of anything, really.
Yeah, I've heard some people complain though about microtransactions that they're initializing, but at the same time, it's like, man, you got the choice of whether you want to do it or not. Like, they still give the option, like, you can still play the game and get what you want, but if you want it right now instead of like 3 weeks from now, you can pay $5.
Yeah.
So.
Let's see what some other news we can go on, because that didn't take as much time as I thought it would.
And then, like, sure, the people who do spend all this money, they're going to have an advantage for a while, but they also spent all this extra money, whereas you...
Well, half the time, like, for example, Team Fortress is just buying a hat. That's not going to make you better at the game, like, with a gun or anything. It's just a hat. He's just got a funny top hat now, Like, it's crazy. No, dude, there's actually, like... Because they have hats in there called Unusuals, where they have, like, trites and floaty visual effects. Like, one of them has, like, a moon that just, like, hovers over the hat. Some of these hats, I was reading a forum. It's, like, a private forum, like a kind of site. So I saw a hat bidden for $1,300 cash, but then it got bought out by a guy that bidded $1,100 cash plus $400 worth of items. Like, straight up. Like, $1,300 for a cosmetic hat in a video game that's not going to make you any better, make you, like... You know what I mean?
Like, if I had, just if I was wealthy and, just had money I didn't know what to do with, I'd be like, sure, I would spend, just all this money just to get
What's the one guy said? He's like, some guy's like, how can an idiot spend $1,300 in this game? He's like, look, dude, I got a Ferrari out in the garage right next to a Lincoln Navigator and blah, 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 in a fucking $350,000 mansion. What's $1,300 to me? Like, where do I stay? You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, whatever.
Just be like, I do this
it's my
like
money.
Every day.
Yeah. I just think it's funny.
So earlier in the last podcast, we actually did mention how the guys at Gearbox didn't want to make Borderlands 2 for the Wii U because they didn't know how to make it work for it with special things. The reason I only found out about that was because I read this article, how Konami and Kojima and all those guys don't want to make Metal Gear Rising for the Wii U, even though that's not really out yet, and all you really got to do, like we said before, is just put the interface down on the screen or even edge up just a pause thing on the screen.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty much the gimmick, because they don't want to make it for that.
Well, the thing is, I mean, you don't even need to, put anything you can do on a screen. Just, make it so you can just have the display on the screen. And I don't see how that would be a problem.
And according to, according to, who said this here? It looks like Kojima, maybe? Or wait, no. Korei Kato is what it is. According to what he said to Eurogamer, one of the strongest appeals of the Wii U is the gamepad. However, we've constructed Metal Gear Rising so you can fully enjoy the game on the controllers, whether it's the PS3 or the Xbox. So currently, we aren't thinking about the Metal Gear Rising on the Wii U. So thing is, though, every button they have on the game or on the other two systems, they have on this controller too. Not just the Pro controller, but on the gamepad. I mean, why not make it?
Well, the thing is, too, is like Wii U just came out a month ago.
Yeah.
There is gonna be games like this that are gonna get jumped and leapfrog. Give it 6 months. When those guys are actually working on a new game for the system, and then they'll actually be able to say like, hey, Nintendo will be like, hey, we want you to have this game, how you can make the game, but how could you also incorporate it with the gamepad? So I mean, really, it's like, you're going to get a lot of games kind of like the Wii where it's just going to be waggle, but with this it's just going to be like, the gamepad will probably end up just being like your start menu.
Yeah.
Like a lot of third-party games, that's what's kind of nice about this system compared to the last generation system, because then, if you just want to like half-ass and port your game over to Wii just to have it on more consoles spread out, all you gotta do is just maybe spend like a little extra time incorporating the start menu or just hitting the start button on the pad to start the menu,
Although at the same time, having a start button on the screen would be a little weird because you have a start button right next to it.
Yeah.
Alright, so this comes out Saturday, but by the time you hear this, Nintendo's service of the Nintendo TV will be out. For those that aren't aware of what that is, that's going to be the service where you can connect your Wii to your current satellite or cable provider and watch your TV through your Wii U.
Oh, wow. So you can keep it on all the time.
Yep. So, yeah, that's pretty much it there. That's one of the features they said would be available sooner, but they had some issues getting it out on time, so they pushed it back to December. And it'll be out before Christmas, which is good for everybody.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So there's that. Other news. Mega Man has 6 titles available on the 3DS eShop as a celebration for the 25th anniversary.
Nice. 25 years, man. That's a long time.
Yeah, I actually just downloaded the Street Fighter X Mega Man game that you can get on the PC for free.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah.
Pretty good?
I haven't been able to do much with it yet because I'm still learning the controls, and I can't figure out how to get the sound to play. I'm going to have to figure that out real quick.
Yeah. I can try taking a look at it for you.
Cool.
Just look at it.
But yeah, I mean, 25 years, the first 6 games on the 3DS. I mean, I actually might buy the 3DS just so I can do that, because that'd be kind of cool, actually. I've never played a Mega Man game.
I don't know if I'd actually buy a 3DS and just play 6 Mega Man games.
Well, on top of that, Fire Emblem's coming out in January. I really want to play that.
I love Fire Emblem. I played that on Game Boy Advance, and I played
the GameCube one's really awesome, too.
I got the ROM version, too, on PC. And, it was the one before the Fire Emblem one that was on Game Boy Advance.
Yeah.
And that game's awesome, man. I love those games.
It's one of the few Nintendo titles I wish they do more with, because, I mean, it just seems like it's just not getting enough attention.
I always liked the whole interaction with the characters. Like, certain characters have certain storylines, and, certain characters have really interesting storylines with each other, so...
Alright, so another new bit of Wii U news here. In Seattle, Washington, 7,000 Wii U units were stolen.
Wow.
Yep. That is roughly, according to what I read before, about 3 million was what I read. Maybe a little off there, but quite a large amount of money worth of stuff being stolen there.
It's going to the black market. You know, the interesting thing about Washington, too, is a random graffiti artist, I still haven't figured out who it was to this day, but on the bike lanes, you know, those little thin lanes for the bicycles, he actually sat there and made a mushroom stencil, a star stencil, and then a zip pad stencil, and a banana peel stencils, and put them all along this bike lane for 3 miles. So, like, you're riding a bike, it's like playing Super Mario Kart with the zippers.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, and, like, the banana peels and the stars. You know, I was like, that's pretty neat. Yeah. So.
I want to check that out. That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
So, this just seems kind of weird. I mean, these guys, they drove 2 diesel semi-trucks to the warehouse, backed them up, and then using the forklifts already there, loaded up 64 pallets of Wii U.
Where's the security guards in this, man? That's nuts.
Yeah, 64. Nintendo 64. There's a conspiracy here. Nintendo's doing this as a big stunt to get attention.
It's a publicity stunt.
It's a stunt.
Not only that, it looks like they stole an official airport box truck to get the last of their load.
I can just see it's like a bunch of like pirates that would just kill you like with a gun. They come in, yo man, we got the biggest stash. What'd you grab? Dump them out. 7,000 Wii U's. You know what I mean? It's just like, man, that's all you got.
Yeah, just come on. I could have gotten drugs.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know much about the 3DS or any of the titles coming out on there, but Unchained Blades is a game that's finally getting North American release. So I bet it's a popular title for all the JRPG fans out there. So for those listening who are interested, check that out. Should be pretty interesting. It looks like it's a $30 price coming here in the States.
I remember when JRPGs were a dime a dozen, and they're all turn-based. I miss those days sometimes.
Yeah. Because, you know, turn-based games...
They need to bring back a good turn-based game. They really do. Just somehow, like, make it...
Fire Emblem! Yeah, I know what you mean.
Although, yeah, you know, with that game, I might want to get a 3DS as well. Because, well, I mean, there's quite a few games that seem alright for it.
I like the rock, paper, scissors of Fire Emblem a lot.
Yeah.
The whole system of it.
Yeah, I personally like the magic system of it just because it's just really cool how they do it. Though.
Yeah, like, the whole, like, you know, this beats that, and this beats that,
yeah.
So...
And last bit on the Nintendo news here, Iwata promises to fix the Wii U loading times. Essentially, he's a little annoyed that, you know, there's a bunch of loading times in terms of getting all the updates for it in the beginning. Because I know when we get the game system, it was like maybe an hour's worth of updating just to get the console to do stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, he wants. It looks like they might start putting those updates on the console from now on when they're releasing them. Or maybe they'll just make smaller updates. Who knows? But
like a service patch.
It's not only fixing downloads. It's also when you try to switch applications, it can take a while. And what it says right there, you know, it's long enough to go make yourself a nice sandwich.
Yeah.
And you know they want to fix that. Whereas you know other consoles, you'd be like, I want to quit this game.
Yeah, and it just came out a month. That's why a lot of people buy them now, and then they can complain like this, and then a guy like that comes out and says, "Hey, we're gonna fix that." You know what I mean?
Well, it's also nice that it's the Nintendo, you know, guy in charge of the whole thing. And he's like, "Yeah, we're gonna try to fix it. You guys just rest easy. You know, we know what we're doing."
You get that all the time. You get that with Windows 8. You get that with the new Apple interfaces. You get that with any technology that comes out right off the bat. You give it 6 months to a year. Well, look at all the bugs worked out.
It's things like this that make me respect Nintendo's PR over Sony's, because you know Nintendo's like, you know, we apologize for the mistake. We'll do what we can to fix it.
Yeah.
Sony's like, yeah, they might have stolen your credit information. We'll let you know more about it later. Oh, a week later. Yeah, they stole your credit information. We should have told you about that.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's like they also knew, though, too, like, shipping these out, we need to get them out before Christmas. And the loading times are bad. And I already have the speech prepared 3 months ago because I knew the loading times were going to be bad. Like, they knew, you know.
Probably a bit, yeah. Okay, so there's a massive sale going on right now on the Xbox Live Marketplace.
Yeah, Jet Grind Radio. I love that game.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Jet Grind Radio.
I thought it was Jet Set Radio.
Or Jet.
Whatever it is.
Yeah.
I remember I played this a bit at a friend's house, and it was a fun game.
That game was awesome.
Like, the visual style was different. It was a different game.
One of the best games on Dreamcast ever, dude.
Like, all you do is you just, like, skate around and graffiti.
Oh, yeah. And the music's awesome, dude. The music's great in that game.
Apparently there's 29 special offers going on right now, including half price on Modern Warfare 3, both the all the add-ons and the main game itself. Also, plenty of arcade games such as Frogger, Hyper Arcade, Joe Danger 2, Simpsons Arcade, Racketeer, Plants vs. Zombies, Peggle, Sonic 4, Sonic the Hedgehog 2.
Hey, did you ever get a chance to check out the Sonic episodes that they released?
I mean, Sonic 4 episodes 1 and 2.
Yeah. Did you check those out?
I did the demo for the first one. I wasn't impressed. I might check out 2, though. That looks better, because you can play as Tails a bit, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot of sales going on. Jet Set Radio, Super Meat Boy. I believe Walking Dead Episode 1 is free on the Xbox Live right now.
Good too.
So yeah, you should definitely check out this, because it looks like a pretty solid deal. Everything here is 50% or higher off.
That's pretty good.
With the exception of Simpsons Arcade being 25, but whatever.
Aw, man.
I was looking forward to playing as Bart Simpson.
Wait, go back to that?
You have an Xbox. Why do you want to look at it?
He's like, oh, skipping it out.
Let's see. Connect Party. It's 100% off.
Oh, it's a freebie.
Connect Party.
Yeah.
No one wants it.
And lastly, for fans of Minecraft and people who own Xbox, the Minecraft Story of Mu Yang, which is a documentary on how Minecraft came to be, will be released for free on Xbox Live to watch.
Mojang?
That'd be kind of cool.
I like calling it Mojang.
I call it Mahjong. That's what I thought it was. Like
I've heard all three, so. But yeah.
Like Mojang.
But yeah, a little documentary just to see how that whole thing came together. One of the biggest indie games of the decade. I mean,
yeah,
definitely worth checking out if you get a chance.
Well, the coolest thing about Minecraft is, like, you could actually, if you made something, like, monumental in that game, you can put it on a resume as, like, a game developer. Like, look at the creations I made in here just using blocks, but I created a 3D image, you know, like, just in terms of, like, tricking your eyes. That's what I think is pretty cool about that. You can use it as a tool and also as entertainment, so.
Yeah. You know, it's just fun to play, especially on the PC, because you can mod and just have all these mods do other things, and you know, even without the mods, people have built like working computers in there.
Yeah, I've seen like pretty colossal. I saw a dude recreate what's the Pokemon city that Misty?
Cerulean.
A guy created Cerulean City in 3D on Minecraft. I was like that, and then another guy also made a Pokeball, like a 3D Pokeball, but it was like the size of a football stadium, like opened up, and then on the inside there's like a living room with like a big fireplace and like you know what's
oh my
inside
god, I want to see
what's
this.
inside of a Pokeball, you know, like it's like
that's awesome.
Yeah,
I would have to make that stuff now just to sound amazing.
It's pretty cool, man. Some of the creations they do are pretty nuts.
Speaking of sales on the consoles, PS3 is not far behind either. They have sales on some of their games too. Catherine, Counter-Strike, GEO, Dyad, Escape Plan, I Am Alive, Big Planet 2, and Big Planet PS Vita. As well as the Rayman Origins and the one for the Vita, Resident Evil 4.
You guys checked out the Vita yet?
Nope.
I
think it looks kind of dumb in my opinion, but I've heard it's pretty cool. And I don't really get, like, you upload PS3 games onto it? Is that how it works?
Yeah,
you
that's
can.
what I've heard.
Like, I don't
well,
know.
I'm glad you brought up that, because there's actually an article here about the PS Vita that I want to bring up. So, apparently, just right after the whole Wii U's, big successful thing, Sony's like, oh, hey, you guys remember the Vita? Yeah, we can cross-platform with that, too. Apparently some games like the Big Planet I just mentioned a minute ago, those can work cross-platform where you can play with the touch screen of the Vita on the PS3. The problem is that the fact that they're just demonstrating that they can do this now, after the Wii U has been released, kind of late to the game. They should have done it beforehand to steal Wii U's thunder before it came out.
That's just how PS3's always been. They're kind of, I look at it like this. Nintendo's kind of the innovators. Like they set the standard of trying something new, and I think that's awesome. And then Xbox is kind of like that power horse. Like, we got the best graphics, the best performance, the best shooters, the best this, the best that. And Sony just kind of has become that little bottom feeder, like, asshole in the background. That's just
repeating everything else.
Going on. Like, look, they made the Wiimote, and then Xbox makes
we made the remote control dildo too.
Yeah, we made the wand. It's like, you can play virtual disc frisbee. Who wants to play virtual disc frisbee? Like, just go to a real park and play frisbee golf. You know what I mean? Like, come on. It's just like
Well, see, other problems with this whole cross-platform thing they've got going here is not only that, but there's not a lot of support for it yet. There's only like maybe 1 or 2 games in total that can do that. The whole thing you mentioned about being able to play PS3 games on it, you gotta make sure it's not installed on your PS3. Then the pre-install package of it, you have to move that onto. May have to re-download it, but you have to move that onto your PS Vita, and then you got to install it there. It's like a huge hassle.
And that's the thing too about PS3 that really pissed me off. Okay, I get Twisted Metal Online, right? I rip open the box, I pop in the disc, I'm ready to play it.
Firmware.
I'm waiting to play it. What do I gotta do? I gotta download the fucking game onto my PS3 for 20 minutes to a half hour. It's like, what happened to just sticking the game in,
cartridges,
turning it on, and you're good to go.
Yeah,
why do I need to download? Like I was sitting there, like, are you kidding me? And then I get on, and it's just like,
it's like boom, you have to download, you have to install the game.
Why?
It would be nice if you could just platform or use the cross-platform thing to stream the games, not just to install it, but just to stream it from your PS3.
Like Xbox gave you that option. Like I remember they said if you download your game onto your system, it'll run a little smoother. But you don't have to. You can just play it off the disc. Why can't PS3 do that?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's what I didn't get. It was like, Xbox can do it. Why can't you guys do it?
I get how PCs, they've always been that way. Where you get the game and
but it's not a PC,
gotta
it's
go
PS3.
home, then you gotta install it, and then you play it.
Yeah.
They should just left that for the PC and just the console. Just you put your
and
game
it really
in,
doesn't boost
you're done.
performance that much. Like I never noticed playing games. Like I didn't see like a significant jump in performance. I just saw that my game was installed in my system, and now I'm 60 gigabytes short on memory. You know what I mean? Like I didn't get it.
And you still need the disc, don't you?
Yeah, and you still need the disc. Yep. Which I think's stupid too.
And the other big part about this cross-platform thing that really bugs me, you have to buy 2 separate consoles in order to make it work. You have to buy your $300 PS3 and like your $100 Vita. Whereas the Wii U is only $300. I mean, you're getting a horrible deal on this whole thing. It's like, come on. But yeah, that's the cross-platform thing there. And then, of course, Big Planet 2 this week just added support for the Vita cross-platform thing.
That'd be pretty cool. Little Big Planet 2 is one of the games I like on PlayStation 3.
Yeah. Alright, so let's move on to news that isn't just about the consoles here. Let's see, we've got some stuff on Star Wars Old Republic. We've got some stuff on some developers for the Oculus Rift, which Mike knows a little bit about.
I do know a little bit about that. I can input some stuff there.
Well, let's get all these things open before we get anywhere else. That way I don't have to open them all up one by one. Let's start with these 4 here. So, let's see, there's going to be an expansion for Star Wars The Old Republic. Anyone been playing that at all?
My roommate played it for a while, but then he kind of got lost with Call of Duty, and then the Far Cry 3 he's been playing.
Right.
Yeah, according to what I've been reading here, the expansion has to do with raising the level cap. You do get to expand the story with the Cartel of the Hutts or something like that.
Yeah, it's like basically. You guys know anything about the game at all?
I know it's an MMO that's got like the whole good evil choice system. It's got fully story written and all that.
Well, basically, it's one of the few massive multiplayer games that's actually like you'll be playing a quest, and then like how it's set up is you're with a party of random people, and then you get to that point where you make a choice, like do I want to kill this guy or not? Everyone picks a choice, but then there's a dice roll and kind of a democratic vote. Like, okay, like 3 people pick this choice, and then 1 person picks that. Then you throw a dice, like, you have 3 times more of a chance of this choice happening because those 3 kind of voted it in. But then you have the potential maybe that this guy might win, too.
So like, he might win, but it's not very likely.
Yeah, but so, like, more often than not, he's going to... So, it's like 1 good guy and 3 bad guys running a party, and all 3 bad guys want to keep being bad. It's kind of like, makes sense. It makes sense. So... I think that's pretty cool about that. What sets that apart from like World of Warcraft or Diablo, or I guess you wouldn't really consider Diablo like a game like that, but one of those type of games. But
and there's also a new planet called Makeb, which should have a lot of different missions and whatnot for you to do on there as well. I don't know enough about it to say, but I don't know. It could be pretty good. It looks like this will be released in the spring of 2013, so we'll see how that goes when it comes out.
Yeah, hopefully they show more Mandalorians. I always like the Mandalorians in the games.
Okay, so Oculus Rift, something that I know Valve has been pushing to kind of work on, and a bunch of other developers are kind of interested. There's a developer called Sinful Robot. They want to make it make a nice, good porn simulator on it.
Well, I have to say, if they want to make it, sure, people are going to get it, especially for a device like this. And if you don't know what it is, we might have mentioned it in another podcast.
I think we have, but go ahead and give us a little detail
here. It's
here.
pretty much like a headset, screen thing with like a 110 degree field of view. Look great, but so I mean that's pretty much all it is, and it's developed.
If someone walked in on you though, it's like, what are you doing? And if you need any advice, go talk to Rockstar. I mean, they already did this a couple years ago with San Andreas with the hot coffee mod.
Yeah,
I do have something I want to bring up for San Andreas now that you've actually mentioned it real quick. Let's see if I can find that.
The thing is that I do like the idea of the Oculus Rift because it's developed specifically for gaming and gamers instead of being developed just for everything.
Smut.
Yeah, but like it's specifically for gaming, which is nice. And when it's finished, it's not supposed to be too expensive, and I'm hoping it'll do pretty good.
Yeah.
You brought up San Andreas, so GTA 5, we all know it's coming out next year.
Yeah.
Apparently Rockstar wants to bring all the GTA cities into one world with GTA 5, including San Andreas and all the other ones.
I heard theories that the next game's going to be bigger than GTA 4, San Andreas, and Vice City combined.
Well, they have all of them in one game. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised.
So that'd be pretty cool. I was seeing a video, like, you can get cars that have drop tops, and you can be rolling, and then you click a button on your controller, and you can drop the top into a convertible.
That's cool.
Like, little features like that will be neat. Like,
yeah, just like little extra stuff.
Yeah. You can mountain climb. They have, like, mountain ranges and stuff.
I know no one here is super excited about the new DMC Devil May Cry because the main character is, let's just put it mildly, a complete fucking asshole. But he is gonna have his game released on the PC as well, which will run at the 60 plus frames per second according to this here.
It can. I mean...
And if you I believe if you pre-order it now, you can get Devil May Cry 3 and 4 with it if you pre-order on Steam.
You know, you should pre-order this just to get 3 and 4 and never play the new one.
I already have 3. I don't really care for... I haven't really gotten far enough to want to get 4, so...
But I'm just saying, you know...
I think it'd just be weird on a keyboard and mouse. That's just my opinion.
Well, you can always put a controller in, too.
Yeah, that's true.
That's one thing I like about the PC, that you could always plug a controller in.
Yes, well, like some games, though, like that Arma game, my buddy had to get a controller, but he had to sync up the keys to, like, hot buttons with a little, like, mod he had to buy or something.
Oh, yeah. So, well, I mean...
It worked, but, you know, it was a little clunky.
You can just, like, go in the controls in some games, but other ones you might have to use a
well, it was a mod, too. That's probably why. I mean, if they made, like, a full-fledged game, that might be the option, but...
Also, if you enjoyed Hitman Absolution, because I hear a lot of people are loving that game right now, you can get the HD trilogy of Hitman available for PS3 and 360.
See, I played...
Should be available 29th of January.
I played the second one or the third one, I believe, but those are pretty good. So the one I played, I believe it was the third one. That was a really good game.
There's Contracts, Blood Money, and I forget the other one is.
I think I played Contracts. And then, have you guys played those games?
I have not, no.
It's pretty cool. It's kind of like, it's a little similar to that Far Cry game where you kind of choose how you want to tackle the mission, but it's a lot. Like, basically, you get dropped off, like one mission I remember playing. You're outside of a building, like it's a big party for like this king guy, and you have to take him out. And you can either go around the back and wait for a chef to come in the alley, knife him and steal a chef coat, walk in, and then you like act like you're baking a cake, and then you slip the knife in, and then when you're like the top chef, you walk into the king's room with the cake, wait till everybody leaves, pull the knife out, off him, and then get the hell out of there. But it was cool because like how smooth you did the mission. Afterwards, there'd be like a newspaper reel that would spin like, you know, like those old cheesy movies.
Yeah.
And it would say like, King dies, but no one knows what happened. But like, if you did it like really sloppy, Hitman runs in with guns blazing. Like it just it pretty much like the news report tells you how crappy you did. Like
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was pretty. That was in Contracts. So.
Although, what if you wanted to be shitty, just running guns?
Oh yeah, you could.
Get your name all over the news.
But there was like 5 to 10 different ways you could take the guy out. Like you could do so many different ways. You could act like you could wait for like a drug dealer dude in the party, and then act like. You know, wait for like a cell phone call that he had, and like, yo, you need to come upstairs, and you'd act like you're dealing him drugs, but then you'd off him, or you could slip like poison in his drink, and then walk out of the building, and then you'd hear all the commotion outside as you're leaving, like, oh my god, he's dead, and then you just kind of go to your exit point. Like, you know, there's so many different ways to tackle him. That's what was cool about Hitman, so.
Yeah.
The trilogy's worth checking out if you want to check it out. How much was it?
I don't remember exactly. Let's find out.
Is that for the PC as well?
Nope, just PS3 and 360, and it looks like the price is $40.
That's not bad for 3 games.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure the first one's pretty dated. Second one, even. Third one might still be pretty straight, but, you know, at this point, you know, for $40, if you want to just try out the trilogy, go for it.
Plus it's a classic, so I mean... Yeah. And last on upcoming game releases, Metro Last Light Limited Edition has been announced, which will include the Ranger mode from last time, and also a bunch of other digital stuff. All the stuff that's going to be included with this limited edition is not going to be like, you know, actual physical stuff. It's all going to be digital stuff, and as far as I know, no additional pricing has been added. Just, you know, limited release essentially.
Cool.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Another one of these limited edition releases I want to point out came out earlier this year. Ico with Shadow of the Colossus,
yeah.
It's like a double bundle, HD, and then like they turn to HD, like for PS3. That'd be a game to worth check out.
I gotta say, I never got too far in Ico.
Yeah. But
Shadows of the Colossus, I've always wanted to play that.
Yeah.
Just because, I mean, it looks good.
And they're making a new, that same developer's making a new game down the road here. I don't know when it's coming out, but he's one of those guys that's just like, yeah, I'm gonna make it when I want to make it. It's, you know, F off everybody. And then when he makes it, it's like, oh, that's pretty fun. You know?
Yeah, it's like, whatever, I'm gonna make this. And then people are like,
when's it coming out? Yeah.
All right, so Ken Levine, who is charge of BioShock, yeah, He recently made some statements. One of which is, I think people who let me just I think there are people who underestimate the intelligence of gamers, and that's why so many were surprised that the original Bioshock was such a success. Some think all gamers just want to blow up terrorists and jump over mushrooms.
Yeah.
That statement's been getting a lot of press lately. Pretty much him saying, everyone's underestimating the intelligence of gamers, which, I'm not too surprised that actually might be true, because I'm sure some developers are like, let's just slap a sticker on this and say it's 2.
I kind of agree that, I agree both ways that, a lot of games, underestimate the intelligence of gamers, but then again, a lot of gamers kind of can live up to that reputation of not being very intelligent, where, they'll buy the same exact game year after year when it's like...
games.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the sports games market's pretty much a monopoly anyway. Yeah. And half those people aren't really... Like, my brother, he's not a gamer. He'll play, Uncharted 3, and he's like, this shit sucks. And I'll be like, this game's awesome, man, Like, he doesn't... he's just sports games. That's what he likes. That's a whole different category, but... If you look back at video games about 20 years ago, it was a lot different. And it really was. Back when, they were working with what they had and making something awesome out of it. Where now, once the corporate capital got involved, that's when I really think they started using the money and capitalizing. Because back then, you'd make a game that was 40 hours long. And that was 30 to 40 hours for an RPG was pretty standard.
Yeah, you'd kind of build your game around your story.
And I was reading a very interesting article about how they had psychologists for... I believe EA or somebody come in and play tests with people, take notes, and figure out the optimal amount of time a video game is worth playing, enough to where you don't feel ripped off, but you feel like you'd buy another game for $60 is 8 hours. You play a game for 8 hours, you don't feel like, oh, this is too short, but then at the same time you feel like, this is like just enough to satisfy me. Could have been maybe a little longer, but hey, I'll buy the sequel for $60 again when they make it. Like, they actually... got into your psychological process and figured that, and I think that's kind of scary, and I think that people don't realize, like, they're capitalizing on it,
See, for me, it's never been about the amount of content there. It's more about what the content even is. Like, if it's something I can get behind and enjoy and think it's engaging, I'll definitely pay the money for it.
Yeah,
but if you're going to pay $60 for a game that has, like, a terrible story, unlikable characters, that are just really crappy gameplay, I'm not going to step in that.
I just think they've really lowered the bar, just, like... because they can get away with it,
They're trying to be minimalist and
they know how to get away.
They can get away with.
I mean, they're studying on how to get away with it.
That's EA for you.
I always liked back in the day. All the games, they were long, just built around story.
Yeah.
I mean, sure they might look.
That's all they had. I mean, you had to have decent writing, an addicting. Like, you're using 16-bit sprites. You know what I mean? Like, you got to make. It's not gonna look pretty. I mean, it's not gonna look realistic. So you got to make it fun, you know what I mean?
Nowadays, it's all like, oh, it's the best looking game since blah, blah, blah.
You can see the beads of sweat dripping down his forehead. Yeah, it looks about pretty cool for 2 minutes, and then you're like, all right, this game sucks.
Yeah, you're like, all right, I'm bored, I want to play a good game, and then you go back, put in your 10-year-old game, and you're like, yeah, I'm having a blast.
Yeah. Some of that's nostalgia, too. People are like,
yeah,
old games are the best, man, the retro games. It's like, yeah, some of them are, but like, where's the new innovation at? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So,
you know what my favorite games is? Saints Row the Third. You know who developed that game? Or who published that game? THQ. And you know what happened to those guys just this past couple days? They filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Those guys made WWF No Mercy back on 64. One of the best pro wrestling games you'll ever play in your entire life.
There's a lot of good people who work at THQ. There's a lot of good games they've published over the years. And I'm really excited to see them going into bankruptcy. Hopefully something will come of this that's good. Maybe some of those projects like Saints Row will get bought up by someone competent. But we'll see. Hopefully,
it's sad though, man. I mean, all these companies. Another sad song was people made Time Crisis and Star Wars Battlefront. Those games would have been really cool if they wouldn't have went under, but they went under.
Well, I know for the past year these guys have been in trouble for a while, but I mean, it's only in the past month things have been taking a turn for the worse.
Yeah.
And right before Christmas too, Chapter 11 bankruptcy is just bad news all around.
Yeah, well, it's almost like some of these people might be so dependent on their publishers, and then, you take out the floor underneath them, and it's like, oh, see you later, Like, they almost, like, I was reading the thing because Haze, this game that this company made, got a bad review, got like a 4.8, but they put a lot of money and time into it.
Yeah.
The publishers are like, we're done dealing with you, bye. And it just bankrupted them. Just because of a stupid review rating. You know what I mean? Like, one place reviewed it and said it was horrible, like a few places.
I think a lot of places didn't care for it too much.
And that's the thing, I mean, they made one bad game. I mean, you can't it's like it's so cutthroat now. You can't be like, you make one bad game, you move on. I mean,
I've seen some studios make a bunch of bad games and still
and they keep going. And
like
Guitar Hero, give me a break. Okay, that stuff died after 3. I mean,
like I like the innovation with Rock Band, bringing in more instruments, but after a while, it's like, come on, guys, just make it so it's DLC to get more stuff.
Then they got greatest hits. It's like that's okay. When you're having a greatest hits of like a musician, their time's up. Like you're doing the greatest hits. Their golden era is over, and you're doing the greatest hits to make more money off it. Guitar Hero's golden era was over, so they're doing a greatest hits game, charging another $60 because they know it's over. We're cashing out. See you later.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Speaking of publishers, EA is no longer relevant to the NASDAQ Top 100. You know, they have a stock thing going on. Apparently, they're no longer the top 100 companies on the NASDAQ. So,
because honestly, man, I mean, the only thing they got going for them is sport games. Step up your game.
Everyone else hates them now.
Well, no one really likes them anymore. So,
all they really got is Madden and NCAA, or I think they believe they got rid of college basketball.
I do know they have BioWare under their belt, but I mean, how long is that going to carry them, really?
Yeah. Yeah, I think I don't know if it was a smart move.
Yeah, and they have Origin as well, but I mean, that was, in my opinion, a terrible idea. I like
their moneymakers, though.
I like the competition to Steam, but here's the thing. Good Old Games and Steam, they're much better at what they're doing than what Origin is.
They're always going to be around, though, because they got the sports games on lockdown, pretty much. I mean, you got the 2K games, too.
Yeah.
Those are actually kind of a competition for them. My brother's getting that over. And they got rid of college basketball, which is the dumbest thing you could possibly do, because it's like, why would you get rid of that? Like, college basketball in itself is a whole different sport compared to like NBA. I mean, some people watch college more than NBA just because they don't want to deal with the drama.
Yeah.
Why would you get rid of that? It's like, it doesn't make sense.
So last bit of news I have, unless you wanted to say something.
I was going to say before you start, this next bit of news is annoying.
I know. But, so last bit of news, I think we're all familiar with the shooting that happened up in New England a few days ago.
Yeah.
Was that Connecticut, I think is what it was, right?
Connecticut, yep.
Yeah, okay. So anyway, I'm not going to go into the details of who shot who. I mean, it was a bunch of kids.
Everyone knows what happened.
Let's not dwell on the tragedy. Let's dwell on the aftermath of the tragedy.
I go to the bathroom and check my news feed. It's just every other post is something about that.
Yeah. So before we go on, though, I do feel sorry for the families out there who lost their kids. That stuff shouldn't happen. So if you are listening, I feel terrible for you. Hopefully, you'll be able to move on from all this. But let's go ahead and focus on the media and their terrible coverage of this whole thing. Recently, as always with these kind of shootings, games get blamed. In a recent report on CNN, they not only blamed video games, but they blamed the wrong person for the entire shooting entirely. They blamed they confused the killer, Adam Lanza, with his brother Ryan. But I had looked on his Facebook page as well and started accusing him of this on CNN. Not only that, they looked on Ryan's page and saw he was a fan of Mass Effect 3 and thought, well, Mass Effect 3's got to be the cause of this whole thing. So they're telling everyone Mass Effect 3's a bad game, causing all this stuff.
Yeah, because Mass Effect 3, you're just totally killing all the people and going murdering.
It was like that. It was like that nut job that came out a while back. That was really what was his name? He was really campaigning hard about how shooting games are just the reason why everyone's shooting stuff up. And
I think you're talking about some lawyer or something.
Yeah. I mean, he had no back. I mean, everyone's like, prove it, and he couldn't. I mean, he couldn't. They had psychological evidence showing people that play more video games are actually better drivers. They're actually more aware and more acute with their senses because they've been playing them.
They get all the coordination going.
It's these loopy nut jobs.
Well, plus I saw a chart actually that showed like a scatter chart with lines and all that stuff. It was pretty much showing the correlation between number of games sold per country or in the country versus the amount of gun violence they have. And America's got the most gun violence, but we do not have anywhere near the most games sold. I think it was somewhere in the Europe or something.
Yeah, it's a stupid argument. It needs to quit. It just needs to stop. Yeah, there's going to be these loop jobs that play Grand Theft Auto and shoot somebody with an assault rifle and think it's real life and go do that. But that's not because the video game did it. It's because they're fucking crazy.
They were messed up in the first place.
They're
games just gave them
they're nuts in the first place.
They're crazy, and then someone could be parenting. Because with good parenting, you're not gonna believe all this stuff you see in movies and games. It's like, I just killed someone in a game. I should go do that in real life.
Yeah.
Because it'll all be fun.
Yeah, I mean, parents just take care of their kids and tell them what's right and wrong. Tell them, you should limit what they can, limit their exposure to things that could be bad.
Well,
you don't got that problem.
It all starts too with you gotta be a fucking parent. You can't be their friend. You're not their friend. They're gonna have so many friends in their life, but they're only gonna have 2 parents. And the second thing it starts with is when you walk a kid into the doctor to get a fever, see if because he's cold, has sick or whatever, see if he has a fever. You get diagnosed with ADD, ADHD, chronic depression, this and that. Here's 5 pills to take care of it, and here's 3 more pills to counteract those 5 pills. Next thing you know, you got a Sudafed junkie on your hands. What the hell do you do with yourself? You know, who's to blame here? Who's really to blame? So.
Although I do have to say, you know, with all that, it's just, you know, teaching your kids what's right from wrong. I mean, you don't even really have to limit what they're exposed to, because, I mean, I know I wasn't. But it was more, you know, let them come to their own opinions about stuff, but at the same time, be there and talk to them about it. I mean,
hey, man, not even talk to him. Misbehaving. I mean,
if
my dad whipped me. I got caught stealing one time. My dad whipped me with a belt, bare ass. He's using like he's like, this hurts me more than it hurts you, but I gotta do it, man.
Yeah, I remember.
You know what I'm saying? Discipline.
Mom used to have those like dowel rods, and just we do something wrong and just snap with those things. Well, it hurts. I mean, you learn.
I swore one time I had to eat soap, and it's like there'd be some nut job out in California. Oh my God, you made your kid eat soap. This is child abuse and blah blah blah. It's like, no, this is my child.
Yeah.
I already told him before, don't swear, and he swore, so I told him he's eating soap. Yeah. You know what I mean?
I mean, it's just parents should beat
really
their
that bad? You know, I'm still alive. You know, I'm talking with you guys right now, so I'm okay. I mean, I sound normal. I don't sound like I lost any brain cells doing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, quit freaking out. Like, everyone just needs to like chill out. You know what I mean?
No, Steven, you were abused as a kid. You're gonna go murder people.
Yeah.
I can't trust you.
I was whooped with a belt. You know, I'm become a stripper somewhere in the red light district in Amsterdam. You know, that's just how my life's gonna go.
Oh, yeah.
And I also played Grand Theft Auto. That's why too.
Well, red light district in Amsterdam pretty much is just the whole city. But more on the shooting though, or more on the aftermath anyway. The Express, which I believe is like a magazine or some kind of newspaper periodical thing. They are saying that it wasn't Mass Effect 3 that was the cause of it. It was Dynasty Warriors, a game that does not feature guns. It's overly camp, and it's just apparently it can feed your darkest thoughts.
But Dynasty Warriors, that's like...
It's less violent than
most other
games.
No, it is violent because you're beating up thousands of people.
But compared to a lot of other games, it's pretty camp.
Yeah, and I have to say, I mean... As far as I remember, I played like 3 and 4. There's like not really blood or anything. You're just swinging a giant spear, taking out dozens of guys in a swing. And
Dynasty Warriors is the cause of school shootings.
Yeah, a game without guns.
The root of all evil.
How would that game make you violent at all?
You ask,
like, fun.
Okay, you ask any gamer too, like, it's not going to be on their top 5 or their top 10 list either. It's just going to be like, oh yeah, it's Dynasty Warriors. It's alright. You know what I mean?
It's like, I had fun.
Yeah. You know, it's stupid. They have no idea. It's like, I was talking to this guy at my job today, and he's like, you know, this whole thing about the news is they're really twisting a lot of information. Like, they're talking about speed clips and guns, like regulating it. He's like, there's no such thing as a speed clip. He's like, that's just made up jargon. Like, it's a guy that's never shot a gun before telling you how to shoot a gun. It's like they have no idea.
Yeah.
But people also don't know either, so they believe it because it's on the TV box.
Yeah.
So.
Last bit of news I have relating to the issue, though. There is some groups online, I believe, that are trying to start a thing through Twitter, which is just a day of online shooter ceasefire. Anyone who's playing online shooter games on the 21st of December, which is yesterday for people listening. Pretty much they're just saying, you know, if you play those games, just stop for a day, just kind of show your support for what happened out there in terms of the tragedy and showing that you care about the people out there.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So knock your socks off if you want to do it, you know?
The 18th of December, it looks like 1,400 gamers already confirmed that they do this.
Yeah. I mean, it just goes to show you, like, yeah, I mean, we don't have to, we can put it down for a day. It's not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
And I think more importantly, it shows that not all gamers are, you know, lunatics who have gun fetishes. It shows that we actually do have, you know, some intelligence and care about people.
Well, a normal person usually would play a video game to vent their frustration out on the game rather than a person in real life.
Yeah.
If they're a normal person, that's what they do, not a crazy nut job.
Says you.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Like from time to
Little
time,
do you know.
You know, maybe you're like, you're stressed or something, so maybe you'll speed or something in your car.
Yeah.
Or you go home, you know, you'll like pop in an online
That's
shooter.
You'll
start shooting people in a game.
You gotta let out that bottle of energy. It's like some of these people just sit there and build it up and build it up. That's just gonna explode into like a shitstorm, man.
Like I've never had a problem with, you know, stress or everything.
Yeah.
But I've been playing games forever, and I'm like, maybe that helps.
Like I said, I
some
think
people have high blood pressure too and stuff.
I think the big deal is just, you know, the people who get into these shootings and do these terrible things, they just weren't well adjusted to begin with.
Well, if you really want to get into it, if you guys are conspiracy hippies or anything like that,
sometimes
they say there's actually a link to the kid that shot up the school and the Aurora, Colorado shooting for the Batman movie. Both their dads were supposed to, or they were supposed to testify, or their dads, I believe. You can look it up.
I actually did see an image about that. Yeah.
And they're comparing them side by side, and like they have.
They're very similar.
Yeah, but it's about this like bank mafia, like $1 trillion. Because there's this average annual loan rate they have that they regulate, kind of like gas prices.
Right.
And they've been like fraudulently stealing people's money. You know, like $5 here, $5 there, but times like 5 million.
Yeah.
And then it ends up being like trillions of dollars, and it's just been this money marketing ring. And people are saying there's a correlation between like both those kids' dads were part of a testify against like some criminal scandal going on, but somehow they all like all this news is kind of happening, and look what's on the news now instead of that criminal scandal, right?
Right.
All you're seeing is elementary school shootings everywhere, and what should we do about it? And Obama's stepping in, and gun control's got to happen, and this and that. Well, hey, I want to hear this criminal case hearing though. What's going on with that? Nowhere to be found. Nowhere. I mean, that's the hippie in me talking right now. So.
Yeah, that sounds like it could be.
So.
Although, but at the same time, how do you get these people to go shoot up a school?
Yeah, it's either, hey man, yeah.
Mind control.
I mean, it's either we kill you anyway, or you might as well go out in glory, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
Or their dads, or maybe they're doing it to protect their dads.
Yeah, I mean that could also explain, how they get all these guns and whatnot.
Well, they were saying they're wearing vests, like they're going to engage police officers, but none of them ever shot at a police officer. Like, where'd they get the vests, and how come they already came prepared to this, like, with shit? Okay, you're going to go out and buy a bulletproof vest, and you're 20 years old. What the fuck are you doing right now?
Honestly,
you know what I mean? No one questioned that, or how'd they get a hold of that? I mean, their dads weren't cops, they're bank owners.
Well, much like back in the Columbine shooting way back in the day, you imagine that there'd be some telltale signs that these guys just messed up a little bit, and that no one noticed this. Just seems to boggle my mind a little bit.
Yeah. And there's also the whole population control theory going out that some guy made in the 1800s about how stuff reproduces by like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but people reproduce by like 1, 2, 4, 8. Because one person has two people have a kid, 2 people have a kid. Like we reproduce faster than the food on the earth does, so you need to control the population. It's just stuff like that.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's the whole conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
I like it.
In a nutshell. Yeah. So.
Although, I think I'd like to get a bulletproof vest and just have it and wear it around, like just all the time. You just walk around bulletproof vest.
See, I'd want to get one of those. I'd want to get one of those like suspender holsters where I can hold my guns under my armpits. That's what I think, like James Bond.
Oh yeah.
I'm seeing some snowflakes out there.
How's it coming down right now?
Yeah, it's not really on the ground at all,
but
it's
coming.
Still snowing.
Yeah.
Although, it was snowing earlier when I was still driving to work.
Mm-hmm. Well, we've gone for about an hour. I've covered all the news I've got. Anyone else have anything to share at all?
No, I'm good to go, man. So.
That's about it.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us on our week of podcasts once again. Hope you enjoyed it. We will not probably have anything coming out for at least a week or so now that we've done this. So expect us back maybe next Saturday or Sunday. I'm not sure when we're going to have our regular schedule back up again. But next
we'll get it figured out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Expect us back sometime.
We got stuff to attend. We got lives to attend to.
But if you don't hear from us, I know, but we will not be getting another episode up before Christmas, so enjoy your holidays. We'll hopefully see you after that. Once again, this is Aaron.
Mike.
And Steven.
And thanks for joining us. See you next time.
See ya.
Later.